Sound speeds. And if you're in the market for a new dynamic microphone to use in some sort of application that involves your voice, then you may naturally steer away from microphones advertised as instrument microphones. And obviously, if it's this long and it looks kind of funky, then it's a specialty microphone and therefore it's probably not going to be suitable for your voice. But if it is a full-size microphone, like for example, this SE Electronics V7X, then you might want to give it a closer look because it could surprise you. A few months ago, I was speaking with a representative from SE Electronics and they agreed to send me a V7 microphone in exchange for a fair review, but upon receiving it, it was a V7X instrument microphone. Now, the first thing that went through my mind is, oh great, it's an instrument microphone. I shouldn't even listen to this. I should go ahead and send it back and get something that would be more suitable for the voice because I don't play an instrument. But I went ahead and decided to listen to it. And I was kind of surprised. And in case I didn't make it clear enough, full disclosure, SE Electronics did send me this V7X microphone in exchange for a fair review. I do get to keep it following this review, and despite that, I'm not going to let it affect my opinion of this review, so you can expect it to be an honest review. As you know, I don't waste my time with unboxing videos on this channel, but that doesn't stop me from showing you what's on the inside of this box. Inside the box, you have the microphone itself, you have the manual that comes along with the microphone, and you have a carrying pouch that allows you to carry the microphone and accessories together in one place without them becoming separated from each other. There's a black internal windscreen that allows you to replace the stock red windscreen on the inside of the grill, should you want to. There's also a standard microphone clip ready to take the microphone and mount it straight to a microphone stand with standard 5/8 27 threads. And of course, there is an adapter that allows you to adapt that to a boom arm or boom pole with the standard 3/8 16 threads. And of course, it comes with a sticker. And unlike some other reviewers, I actually like stickers even though I don't actually use them, I just throw them in a drawer. The grill itself is made of spring steel, strong, durable, flexible. Even though I can't really damage it if I try squeezing it. I do feel it flexing ever so slightly, but it bounces right back into place. Obviously, because it's the same material that springs are made of. But even more importantly, stage combat swords are made of the same kind of material. Now, remember how I mentioned that this red on the inside, the red windscreen, could be replaced with this black one that it comes with? Well, I'm going to leave it on there because it kind of gives it a fiery look that I like. Now, this is an all aluminum voice coil. And if you notice, it does have some wiggle to it, allowing it to have a bit of shock absorbency when you hold it. This is rubber around the outside. And aside from that little piece of rubber there, this entire microphone is made of metal. There is no plastic on this microphone, which really makes it feel solid as a rock. I actually really like the build quality of the microphone. Notice also right here, there is a ring that goes around the grill, and that's so that if you were to lay it down on the ground, it's not going to roll around. You see how there's a couple little dents in there that will stop it? Actually, there is a total of 6 going all the way around. This will keep it from rolling if you put it down on a flat surface. This whole entire thing is built to last. Has gold XLR pins on the bottom, and in all honesty, I can't really fault it for its build construction. You may look at the manual and say, wow, this thing is thick. There must be a lot of good information in there, right? Not really. I mean, aside from the cover, this page, and this page, there is no more English in here. All the other pages are dedicated to other languages. 3 pages for each language, and there's a lot of them. Now, it's written in proper English, at least the English section is. I mean, there's no broken sentences, but it's very, very simple. I mean, it basically tells you the basic specs, frequency response, polar pattern, which is supercardioid, I might add, support information, contact, and just in case you didn't see it, the warranty information on the back, which is 2 years factory warranty that you can extend up to 3 if you register it online. What's there to say about the little case? Fabric on the outside, kind of cheapish plastic on the inside. The zipper works just fine, and it holds everything you need to. SE Electronics logo on the front. The microphone clip is standard plastic. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's going to break if I were to try to really put a lot of torque or pressure on it, but it does have metal on the inside there. So, I mean, it definitely does its job and does it well. It doesn't feel like it's going to break, and it is made pretty well, I must say. What's there to say about the adapter? It's probably copper, and it doesn't have any seams on it, and it will do its job and do it well. What's there to say about the sticker? It's a sticker. It'll stick on things. Probably. Considering that this is a microphone review, we might as well switch over and let you listen to it, right? This is the SE Electronics V7X in all of its glory. Now, the reason I'm very clear about it being an instrument microphone is because what is an instrument microphone? It is simply one that is tuned for instruments. But if you were to compare it to the V7 vocal version of the microphone, you're going to really only see 2 things. In the frequency response, The vocal microphone version dips a little bit in the higher frequency ranges, and the V7X is smoother there. Also, the V7 boosts the fundamental vocal frequencies of the human voice a little bit more than the V7X does. The V7X boosts a little bit lower frequency ranges than you would want to do on a vocal mic if you were to want to do that. So those are really the only two differences on the frequency response. But let me ask you this. Are you bothered by the fact that this is a supercardioid pattern microphone and not a cardioid? Typically, voiceover microphones and those used for voice are cardioid pattern, meaning that it has a lobe of sensitivity at the front, and kind of like a cardioid or a heart, it kind of has a null part, a lower area of sensitivity at the rear. Now, if I had the microphone like this and I was singing to it on stage, you would hear less crowd noise. But a supercardioid pattern microphone has a little tiny lobe of sensitivity out the back, and its area that is null or less pickup, less area of sensitivity is out the rear. It's right around here, about 135 degrees off axis. 180 degrees is exactly opposite. Halfway between that is 90, and about halfway between 180 and 90 is where that null spot is, which happens to be directly in line with wedge monitors, which are the monitor speakers that people on stage are usually listening to themselves back in. Now, I'm speaking into this microphone for quite a while to let you hear the sound of it. And because it boosts the highs a little bit more so than the vocal version of the microphone, you may be saying that might be a little on the sibilant side. But I want you to listen for a second, because it doesn't bother me. Yes, it does have that typical infomercial factor where, like, you listen to an infomercial and it's just sibilant like crazy because it wants you to hear everything the person's saying and not really be able to turn your head away. That sound, the extra highs and the sibilants, is something that helps you to focus and dial in. It makes it more difficult for you to turn your head away. But if you listen to the actual quality of my voice, you're going to hear that this microphone right here has a 30 hertz to 19,000 hertz frequency range area of pickup. It's actually extended range that you normally get out of a dynamic microphone, especially one that's $99 or around the $100 price point like this microphone is. Surprisingly, it has a very wide range of frequencies it picks up. Now, it is also a very sensitive microphone as far as dynamics are concerned, because it has a negative 54 dBV or 2 millivolts per Pascal sensitivity due to the neodymium magnets on the inside. That helps it with being more sensitive and not quite as muddy and just, you know how a lot of dynamic microphones are more nasally, they're more muddy. This one is actually very open sounding. It's more open sounding is a good way to put it. And that's probably partially because of those air frequencies that it's pulling in on the really high parts of this, of the frequency range. It doesn't have the typical dynamic, just kind of closed and, like I'm kind of almost talking like this. But I also want to point out that if you speak directly into this microphone, which you shouldn't do, by the way, watch that video right there if you have any questions about proper microphone technique. If you speak directly into it, you're going to be killing it with plosives. Now, yes, you can get yourself a pop filter. And if you're going to speak into the microphone point blank like this, then definitely do it. But you don't really want to do that. The reason why people started doing that to begin with is because ribbon microphones in the studio kept having wind come from people's voices and instruments, speakers, whatever you were miking, having wind coming from those and damaging the ribbons. And those microphones, once you damage the ribbon, it's kaput. The thing is completely useless. And because of that, a lot of the times people have not been taught proper microphone technique over the course of time. It's more about performance. Get your performance. Don't worry about that. A pop filter will be fine. But if you talk to a lot of old school artists, singers from back in the day, they know how to work a microphone, and they know how to speak into that microphone, how to sing into that microphone. When they get really loud, go a little bit farther away. And then when they get really quiet, bring it in closer. Proper microphone technique. That's just a little hint of it. And this microphone does really well as long as you use proper microphone technique on that. Sure, get a windscreen if you really want to, but you don't have to if you know that proper technique. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because personally, I like the way this microphone sounds. If I get a little bit off of it, I mean, obviously, if I gauge the proximity effect, to me, it sounds, whoa, this thing is crazy. I don't want to do this. It sounds like a nightmare on me. My voice is not a deep male voice. It is a higher pitched voice. And because of that, I want it to sound more natural. Still, it embellishes a little bit on those lower frequencies if I'm about this far away, but you're still hearing that full frequency range, and I sound more natural than I do on many dynamics. Personally, I really like this microphone. I like the fact that it is all metal. I really like the fact that it's supercardioid and rejects out sounds very well. I think that it is actually a brilliant microphone in design, build construction, and look. I mean, the red, I personally really like that. Even though my favorite color is black, my color, if you have to say, well, black's not a color, fine. Red is my second favorite color, or first favorite color, however you want to look at it. I like this microphone. I give it 2 big thumbs up, and I say definitely check it out if you're looking for some sort of a dynamic microphone to add to your collection in mic locker. That's the reason why I reached out to SE Electronics, and I was really happy when they sent me accidentally the V7X. This microphone will probably show up in a few more videos that I do on this channel. I think that you could do far worse, especially in this price point. I think it's a bargain for what it is. Check it out. There are links down in the description if you'd like to buy one yourself. But in the meantime, thank you for watching this episode of Sound Speeds, and be sure to tune in the future for more microphone reviews and sound advice.
Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.